Hey, what's up my fellow Transformers fans, geek gals, and geek guys? Thanks for coming back for another review here on MixelPix. This is going to be kind of a mashup of Transformers Time Warp and MP² reviews, as it is a follow-up to the first MP² or MP2 reviews episode of Seeking the Seekers, which was a comparison of the Takara Tomy MP-52 mold versus the Deformation Space DS-01 mold. I don't remember if I specifically mentioned it in that review, but one of the things that I really didn't care for with the Takara MP-52 trio was what seemed to be, in some photos, a very bluish purple for Skywarp instead of a darker purple. Skywarp just didn't look right on top of the cartoon aesthetic that I don't like. In comparison, as you can see here, Deformation Space's Skywarp homage seems to have a better purple color scheme. Thanks to LegenDary ToyCollections20 of YouTube for their comparison video of the two Skywarps. Give them a follow here on YouTube and on Instagram, where I came into contact with them as Legend_Dary_Toy-Collections. And that's Dary, D-A-R-Y, not D-A-I-R-Y as in cows. Though both of those figures are great bots in their own rights, I am not a fan of the cartoon aesthetic. So I am going to be looking at the various purchases I have made of the MP-11 mold, specifically the KOs that I've picked up, to see if what I've invested is really worth keeping or not. So that's really what this review is going to be about. So without further ado, let's take a look at the MP-11 mold as far as the KOs are concerned. This bot right here, I'm not even sure is an official Takara Tomy. That has dogged my collection, as you will have possibly heard in my previous Seeking the Seekers comparison review. But it may be something that I have to live with until maybe I can one day finally chase down a real MP-11 that somebody can verify for me. However, I have bought a KO version of it that I know is a KO, and if that works out well, then maybe I won't be seeking the MP-11 Seeker any longer. So, foregoing the official releases of MP-11, MP-11SW, and MP-11T, and of Ramjet, we will look at the KOs. Bringing in a couple of other KOs. Let's start with this one. And we've got a very shiny, if somewhat disheveled, golden version of Starscream. And this is from the G1 Transformers cartoon, Season 2, Episode 41, The Golden Lagoon.
Starscream, why don't you test the Electrum for me?
And this one is a rebuy because I bought him already, and as you can see, that hand broke off. You know, you get what you pay for when you're buying a KO. Obviously, Takara Tomy did not intend for this to be plated, I guess, gold or whatever. I'm not sure if the addition of the gold is what caused the problem, but, you know, it's a KO, so it's not necessarily going to have the same quality that Takara had. I also had a problem with the backpack here. The slide inside had actually broken. This might be my second purchase of this one, and this might be my third here. So anyway, the only way you can get a Golden Lagoon version of Starscream is to go KO, so I went KO. So we'll save this for later. Ooh, okay. This is the KO that I was telling you about that I thought might be able to take the place of my other KO. This is the S model, and the difference between this and other KOs is that this one has panel lining that was added to it. So there you go. This is the one that I would be hoping would be able to replace my MP-11 if this is any good. And it comes with a stand, and there's the shoulder rack for his cape, and some stickers they included. All right. Another Yes model, and this was their Sunstorm. And if I was going to get a bunch of Seekers, thought I'd get some other Seekers with different colors too. So this, along with the Make Toys Acid Storm, would give me 2 extra Seekers. And then I think I'd be missing just the one, which is supposedly, I don't know what that one's called, but I thought there were 3 additional colors that were kind of common. So if you know which one that is, let me know. You know, this is Sunstorm. The other one is Acid Storm. And, you know, maybe the other one is Firestorm. I don't know. So anyway, comes with crown and cape and everything. Ooh, these are metallicized, so that's kind of cool. Those shoulder pads there. And we'll take a look at that too. Now I'm drawing a blank on what this one is. Oh yeah, okay. This is the transparent one. So MP-11, not in ghost mode, but in the transformation scene from the movie where Unicron changes the Seekers into their new forms. Why it has all this stuff, I am not sure. It's SL40 from Shockwave Lab. Okay. And that's got a bunch of those. Maybe I stowed these a while ago in here and I don't remember it. But I don't even know what that is. Got tons of these. I guess they'll make for a cool grid pattern that I can put stuff on. And here's another, looks like a Shockwave Lab thing. Usually it comes with that printed number on it. So what is this? Oh my goodness. When did I get that? Holy cow, this is the upgrade kit for Teletran from the War for Cybertron Kingdom Arc, which I gave away with the Arc. Okay, so that's something that I'm not going to need anymore. And then this, I don't know what this is. Wow. Some kind of connectors. I guess maybe for the hexagons. A bunch of them. Yeah. All right, so here's one of the fun little parts about collecting in this crazy collecting world and not wanting to miss out. You can end up buying stuff that you don't even realize that you bought after the fact. And, you know, I think it's worth asking yourself, was that a purchase that I really needed to make? I guess time will tell. All right, so far we're off to a good start. Not because of that guy, which is my supposedly official MP-11 Starscream, but thanks to this guy. So on the right is the Yes model, I believe it is, and it has the panel lining. It does not have the gray pearlescent type plastic. It's a very flat, kind of whitish gray plastic. But this guy seems to be much more stable and quality as far as its connections and where the parts are supposed to stay in place. It's night and day for me. I can't believe that I was even considering that might be MP-11 for real. If this is as good as a KO can be, I would be really, really disappointed to find out that was an actual Takara Tomy. Another reason that I don't think it's real now that I'm looking at it is this guy actually has his face plate painted. It's a gray, and his helmet surrounding it is black. However, this guy, supposedly the real MP-11, doesn't have a painted face, it looks like. And if it is, it's a very, very dark gray. To my eye, I'm seeing nothing but black, as if it's plastic and it hadn't even been painted. So now that I have some kind of basis of comparison, I can see how lacking my supposed Takara Tomy one is. These vents sit and are nice and tight as they rotate down. They sit nicely on top of his sides, which actually sit there nicely and tightly, as opposed to this, which these sides are very loose. The fins here don't lock very well into place. It seems like it locked there, but when you try to lock it, there's nothing that really, it hits a little bit, but it doesn't always stay in place. And as you can see, his knees are giving out. And oftentimes the knees don't lock in, so he will actually shrink down into his legs. This guy has a nice, seemingly solid click. Look at that. Did you see that? Okay, let me bring that back up. Ooh, oh, there goes his whole leg. Oh, no. All right, he's just falling apart now. But if I take and slide this up, do you hear that click? I mean, that is, and there you go. It's on there. This has a lot better fitment to it. And if this is going to be indicative of the KOs that I've got, then I think I'm going to be fairly happy with my choice of the MP-11 mold. Here, check out these knees. You actually hear a ratchet. You can feel the ratchet. One thing that's not working so well is these wings don't want to stay pointed out. They slide a little too easy, but perhaps I can just tighten up that screw there or use a little kiki to keep those from falling down. And he does seem to be leaning a little bit, but overall, this guy is heads above that. His guns also leave something to be desired. They're a little too loose here, but some kiki or nail polish will probably help that out. They are too loose, so they tend to fall away from his arm. But overall, I say yes to yes model. Let's take a look at Sunstorm, just as a little bit more of a comparison. Wiggly. Not wiggly in the legs. So, yes. Quickly before we move on, I just wanted to go over the accessories. Nicely done. Also nicely done. Paint apps are good. Look at that little red dot right there. I mean, it's really well done. Seems to be a little bit of a paint mess up here, but overall, this thing is just really great quality for a KO, I would say. Shoulders for the cape look pretty decent. If anything, the metallic goldish color here is a little bit too dark for my taste. And there is a little bit of a split here in this one shoulder piece, which might be fixable by tightening up or resetting this screw here. But not bad. Not bad at all. The cape looks pretty good. Got some marks right here or something. Some scratches in the plastic. Injection points. But they're not horrible. That's that bubble there is kind of bad. But overall, not bad. It's got a little bit of a swirliness to the plastic, which I think works for the cape. The missile sets are nicely detailed. Just pretty darn clean, for what they are and how small they are. The cape bracket, nicely detailed there, looking pretty good. One pilot, Dr. Arkaville. Interesting that they went ahead and put a little paint on his face there. Everything else is just plastic. Actual fighter pilot. No paint, but, decent looking. Some claw piece that I am not sure what to do with. And the flight stand with a Decepticon symbol there. And you can mount this flight stand a couple of different ways, which is very cool. And that's an interesting find. The actual stand itself, the vertical piece, fits right inside the back of the base. Huh. All right, in the interest of time, we're not going to go through all of the accessories, but here's KO Sunstorm. And this guy is pretty solid too. Another yes model. And I could definitely say yes again to yes model. Similar problems with this one. Guns here are loose, the null rays are loose. To my eye, it looks like maybe he's tilting a little bit, but not bad. One of the shoulders kind of sticks, so it doesn't want to come down all the way on its joint, but it's only a minor angle. Overall, I mean, both of these KO, Sunstorm and my actual Starscream with the panel lining, both have been better than my supposed MP-11 official from Takara. So, I'm guessing I got had. There you go, that's Sunstorm. All right, and just some of Sunstorm's accessories because they are interesting. We've got these metallicized shoulder pads, which might look cool on MP-11. It does look like maybe there's something wrong with some of the metallicized application. Some little highlight spots. Maybe they'll rub out, but otherwise maybe this stuff will chip off or fade away. But cool, at least at the outset. Interestingly, they did not give Sunstorm a yellow crown, so they gave him a purple and yellow crown, also metallicized. And his cape is a shiny pearlescent plastic, and it's semi-translucent. You can see my fingers through there. So that's interesting too. All right, and here is the Unicron reformatting KO from Yes Model. And I was able to confirm that these wings, they were also loose, but I was able to tighten the screw on them, and now they seem to be holding pretty well. So I am imagining that the other MP-11 KOs will also be able to have their wings tightened. Similar problem here with the null rays. They just seem to be too loose, so something's going to have to be done about that, I guess. But yeah, sticks together. Things seem to be tabbing well, and has a discernible ratchet. Whoops, seemed to be tabbing well, and then he just came apart like that. Anyway, yeah, so we'll see. I am not finding this to be horrible, and I am actually enjoying the fact that this... Oh, well, this canopy's not closing now. Why is this canopy not closing? Okay. Overall, I am not unimpressed with this, and I like it. And then just quickly, it does have accessories, and they're all done in some form of translucent, and that is cool. And from Yes Model, the Golden Lagoon Starscream. Now, I was hoping that this was going to replace my broken copy that I got a while ago, which has been on my, and excuse it, it's a little dusty, and it might be light faded, I don't know. But it's been on my shelf of shame. I do have a shelf of shame, and the right hand is fine. Left hand, sheared completely off. That's not folded in, that's just sheared off. And I noticed, well, the same thing happened to this one, but with the opposite hand. And that is supposed to be a metal post in there. That's some pretty cheap metal if you're able to just rip it in half by hand. So it's pretty bad. But perhaps between the two of these, I will have one complete Golden Lagoon Starscream. Thankfully, it was the opposite hand, so I can hopefully use the right arm or hand from this one and put it on that one. This intake has also got some red in it. The gold spray did not get in there completely, so that's another thing that I'd like to see if I could replace on it using the better painted part here. But I even think that there's a little bit of a light color job. Maybe not. I thought maybe there was a problem with the painting on this one too. But there you go. Golden Lagoon Starscream in its MP-11 KO form. Quick spin. And now it's time for the Takara Tomy MP scale comparison test. And let's bring in our main MP scale standard, MP-10 Optimus Prime. And if we bring in our ruler, we can see that Starscream is actually about chest high, or shoulder high, rather, on Optimus. So according to the Freelance Graphics scale chart by Mike Lorber, Starscream is a little too tall to be actual MP scale. So Takara Tomy got it closer with MP-52. However, I also don't know if this is what a real MP-11 is supposed to be, because this is a knockoff. So let's say for the knockoff's sake, it is MP scale. And when I actually know that I get a real MP-11 on the stage here in front of the camera, then I can make a real determination. But there you go for now. I'm going to call it good for the MP scale comparison. So maybe you've guessed already, but where does this leave me with my choice for my collection, given the fact that MP-52 is out and that it is done really well? Looking back on the MP-11 mold, which I have heavily invested in, I am happy at the moment with the MP-11 choice for my display. I'm going to give it the huge caveat and asterisk here that I am reserving the right in my collection to change it as I have it on my shelf and I see it more often and see if I like it. So I'm not going to get rid of my MP-52. I think I will get rid of my MP-52 Thundercracker. But DS-01 is too tall, and I think that leaves me squarely with MP-11. I wish I could remember who to give credit to, but someone on Instagram was telling another Instagrammer that perhaps instead of selling some older bots, that maybe you just keep them for their alt mode. And I don't know why that didn't occur to me before, but that seems pretty brilliant. So if I decide to go with the MP-52 mold for bot mode or alt mode, then I can mix and match. So there you go. It's not a hard decision. Well, it was a hard decision, but it's not a committed decision to MP-11 only. It's not like I'm going to toss out the other bots, but I am going to put this in my collection and use this for my displays to see how well I like this over time. So that's it. I hope that this quandary that I found myself in helps you out, and maybe that little bit I learned about using one set for alt mode and the other set for bot mode. I hope that helps you out too. One thing that I'd like to note about this whole this or that kind of choice between MP-52 and MP-11 or DS-01, it's up to you. Enjoy what you collect. I have to admit that there's kind of a feeling of loss in the sense that I am not of the popular opinion right now with Starscream, and therefore I can't partake in the same kind of excitement that some people have for the fact that we have MP-52. But it's the collection that I'm building, and it's the collection that I came into. MP-11 was the seeker of the moment. Aside from Make Toys, but it was the official seeker of the moment. So, as a wise person once said, comparison is the thief of joy. So, be careful how much you compare what you've got to what other people have, and what is popular and what you like. Do it for you. And as Bobby Skullface says, if you like it, you win. As always, thanks for watching. If you have friends who like Transformers as well and they're not watching MixelPix and you like this video, then let them know about MixelPix. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell as well so that you get notified anytime a new MixelPix video drops, whether it's Transformers Time Warp, Iacon Archives 2, or MP2 reviews. And until next time, happy collecting, everybody.